Let's talk about something we all kind of take for granted. That box outside or in the basement that just, well, works. It's the unsung hero of your home, keeping you comfortable day in and day out. But what happens when your home's hardest worker just quits? Let's dive in, because being prepared for that moment can make all the difference. You know the feeling, right? It's the absolute hottest, most sweltering day of the summer, and then nothing. Just silence. The cool air is gone. It feels like some kind of cosmic joke, but I promise you, it's not just bad luck. There are very real, very specific reasons this happens, and understanding them is your first step to not getting caught in that miserable surprise. Okay, so let's play detective here. Your HVAC system breaking down isn't some random event. Nope. It's usually the final straw after a long, hard battle against two pretty powerful forces, your local climate and maybe even the house you live in. This chart really tells the whole story. I mean, look at the difference. In a mild climate, sure, your system gets used and it wears down gradually. But in an aggressive climate, and we're talking places like St. Louis, where the humidity is over 70% and the temps swing from the scorching 90s to below 20 in the winter, the demand is just relentless. That constant stress absolutely punishes the equipment. And if that wasn't enough, let's throw another challenge into the mix: older houses. A lot of them were built with barely any insulation. The ductwork, it was never designed for modern central air. So all that expensive cool air you're paying for is literally leaking out through cracks and gaps. It's like trying to fill a bucket that's full of holes. Your system has to work overtime 24/7 just to keep up. And here it is, the brutal consequence of fighting that two-front war. A system that's rated to last a solid 20 years might only give you 12, maybe 15 if you're lucky. That combo of a harsh climate and an inefficient home just slashes its lifespan. So the big takeaway here is this: your system's age on paper, it might not be telling the whole story of its real-world mileage. All right, so we get the external pressures, but now let's pop the hood and take a look inside the machine itself. What are the actual parts that end up breaking down under all this strain? First up, the big one, compressor failure. You really have to think of the compressor as the heart of your air conditioner. And in those sticky, high-humidity summers, it can be forced to run for 12, even 16 hours a day. That kind of grueling, nonstop operation just wears out its internal parts. And hey, if your system is low on refrigerant, that's the stuff that moves the heat, that damage happens way faster, leading to a total, catastrophic failure. Now, on the heating side of things, we have the cracked heat exchanger, and you really need to take this one seriously. Every single time your furnace fires up and then cools down, the metal inside expands and contracts. Do that thousands of times over the years, and you can get stress cracks. And the danger? Those cracks can leak deadly, completely odorless carbon monoxide right into the air you and your family are breathing. And finally, we've got these sneaky little troublemakers, refrigerant leaks. Over years of vibration and, well, just corrosion, you can get these tiny pinhole leaks in the system's coils. This kicks off a really vicious cycle. See, low refrigerant means less cooling power. That can cause ice to build up on the coils, which then forces that already overworked compressor to run even harder. And just adding more refrigerant without fixing the leak, that's just a temporary and really expensive Band-Aid. Okay, so the worst has happened. The system is broken. Now you're facing that huge, expensive question: do I repair this thing, or is it time to replace it? It's a tough call for sure, but there's a really simple rule of thumb that can make the decision a whole lot clearer. This whole rule is built around one single number: $5,000. Let's break down exactly how this simple number can save you from making a really bad financial decision when you're stressed out and just want the air back on. The formula itself is super straightforward. All you do is take the estimated cost of the repair, and then you multiply it by the age of your system in years. If that final number you get is over $5,000, replacement is probably the smarter long-term investment. Otherwise, you could just be throwing good money after bad. Let's look at a couple of real-world examples so you can see how this works. Okay, case one. You've got a $400 repair on a system that's 10 years old. 400 times 10 is 4,000. That's under the line, so a repair makes good financial sense. But now look at case two, a $600 repair on a 12-year-old unit. 600 times 12 is $7,200. See, that's way over the $5,000 line. In this case, that $600 would be much better spent as a down payment on a new, more reliable system. So whether you land on repair or replace, you're gonna need to call in a professional. But listen, not all service is created equal. So how can you tell if you're actually working with a true pro? Let's run through a quick checklist. A true professional is transparent and prepared, period. They should give you a written, itemized estimate before they start any work. No surprises. They should be using modern diagnostic tools, not just guessing. Their truck should be stocked with common parts so they can probably fix it on the very first visit. And, this is a big one, they communicate clearly. They respect your time, give you an actual arrival window, and call you when they're on the way. And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. A technician who uses the right tools to find the actual root cause of the problem is going to save you money. It keeps you from paying for parts you didn't even need, and it makes sure that the fix is going to last. So, as we wrap things up here, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. When that next heat wave or cold snap rolls in, is your home's hardest worker actually ready for the fight? Knowing the stresses it's under and knowing how to make these smart decisions, well, that's your absolute best defense.